Hi, yeah, I'm here in the reptile room at Hadlow, and I have here a beautiful corn snake called Maze. Now, when we're thinking about handling snakes, what we want to make sure is that we've washed our hands really, really well, because snakes are obviously predators, and they eat warm-blooded creatures, and as we are warm-blooded creatures, what we don't want them to do is mistake us for food. So that's really important that we wash our hands thoroughly beforehand. Let's imagine that we're splitting her into 3 parts. So I'm supporting her top bit here, and then her middle, she's just curling herself around my arms, and then I've got my other arm underneath. So Maisie's quite happily just sort of shifting around. She's been here for a while, she's just shifting around, making herself comfortable. I'm just going to let her do that and just support her as we need to, whilst I'm doing a visual health check. I'm working from the top of her body, so I'm looking at her head first, and then I'm going to work my way down. So we're just going to look at her eyes and make sure her eyes are nice and clean. They're all clear, there's no signs of injury. Sometimes if there's a bad shed, you can have a bit of the shed left on their eyes, and that's not the case with Maze. She's nice, her eyes are really clear and bright. She's very inquisitive, she's got her tongue keep coming out, that's a good thing if we're being inquisitive, hey. And then what we're going to look at is the scales, make sure that she's all nice and smooth so that there's no injuries on her body at all. All these scales are nicely laid down, they're all soft and smooth. And then we're just going to look at the tail and make sure that there's, again, no signs of a bad shed or anything. Now that vent is right down the bottom, down here, and we need to make sure that it's nice and clean and clear, whilst we're supporting Rocky as well. There's no signs of abrasions there, there's no sign of discharge. So let's get you back into your vivarium, shall we, Rocky? This animal husbandry video is with Bella. Bella is my black short-haired domestic cat. With any animal that we're doing any husbandry procedures with, any handling with, or any visual health checks, it's important that we know as best we can the background of our animal. When we're handling a cat, it's important that we make sure they don't feel restricted, so much so that we're actually doing more harm than good. We want them to know that we're there and they're safe with us, they're supported by us. So the best way to do this is make sure that we're supporting all parts of them, but without restricting them too much. The best way to do this is to use one of your hands to support the front of your cat by placing your thumb, and then the last 2 fingers on that hand, place them behind their 2 front legs, and then the other 2 fingers you're going to place in the middle of those 2 front legs to support them under their rib cage. The next thing you're going to want to do is support their bum using your other arm. We're going to slowly move our hand round here and under Bella's belly, and then I'm going to put her so that she sits comfortably into the crook of my arm, so she's well supported. Good girl, good girl. I know. There we are. Okay. Now Bella, as you can tell, she's not very happy at the moment being picked up, so what I don't want to do is stress her out by doing that too much. So I'm going to do as much of this visual health check as I can by sitting her on the table. We want to check our cat's eyes to make sure that they're clear, they're bright, that there's no sign of discharge or any sign of a haze over the eyes, which could symbol something like cataracts. So I'm just going to have a look at Bella while she's quite comfortable here. Good girl. We can see that her eyes are nice and clear, they're nice and bright. She's definitely very aware because she's got her pupils dilated. The next thing we want to do is we want to check our cat's ears. Cats don't really like their ears being touched, so the best way to do this is to bend your head down as much as you can so that you don't actually have to manoeuvre the cat too much to get to see the areas. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to check Bella's teeth. Cats, if they are regularly eating wet food, they can be very prone to plaque. So it's really important that we make sure that we're providing our cats with the right kind of diet, making sure that if we are using wet food, that we're using it intermittently alongside dry food as well. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to Bella's fur and her skin. Now, long-haired cats in particular are very prone, or can be very prone, to fur matting. One of the last things we want to do is we want to check our cat's paws. We want to make sure that there's no hooked nail, that none of the nails are actually digging in, or that none of them are too long.